Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Sinusoid Pro Audio Couture. Head on over to sinusoid.com right now and check out their fine selection of color choices on their solderless kits. I'm using their solderless kit. I've got the orange cable that I've built, and I've got the white cable that I haven't built because I'm supposed to make a video, but I'm not good at making videos. It's not even that I'm bad at making videos. It's just that, like, I got to find time to do things.
Right.
But it's going to happen someday, I promise. And I need to do it soon because I need to put more cables on my board because I need to put more pedals on my board.
You need those cables, Steve.
The thing that's actually really cool with theirs, and I don't know if other companies do it because I don't use cables from other companies when I can help it.
I mean, why would you?
Yeah.
When Sinusoid is so good, why would you ever use anyone else's cables?
Is you can buy the kits, and the kits come with the plugs for 6 cables plus a ton of wires. You can just buy the plugs and screws. You can tell them, like, well, I don't need 2 kits because that's 12, but I need like a kit plus 3 because I need 9 or whatever. Like, and these are all options that you can build in that are like purchase choices on their website. So it makes it really easy to buy the exact number of plugs and kits or plugs and cable or whatever that you need. It's super functional.
We're talking plugs, not drugs.
Plugs, not drugs. Not hair plugs either. Like,
Yeah.
like
We're talking about
Jacks.
jacks. Yeah, getting
output,
jacked.
Output plugs.
Yeah.
So ripped.
Yeah, getting jacked. Plug and plugs.
Plug and play.
Yeah. Sinusoid. Jacked plugs. Plug in. Sinusoid.
You need to stop. All right, this episode is also brought to you by
I'm very tired.
by Walrus Audio. We got the emissary here. I talked about it last week with the tone jerks, and now I'm actually holding it in my hand.
Last week was a little bit early, wasn't it? Turned out that they weren't ready to release it just yet.
Yeah, so actually, I talked about it, and that video didn't happen because it's made, but it's not ready. It wasn't ready to release. So
For whatever reason, maybe they just wanted it to line up with the holiday weekend.
I think they just wanted to mess with me.
I think they wanted to mess with me because I went to Thomann Music and I rushed out a demo while I was there and edited it in my hotel room and worked really hard to publish it, and then I couldn't release it.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a basically a 2-parameter clean boost.
Well, it's not just 2-parameter. It's a parallel boost.
Right, it's a parallel boost.
There's 2 knobs, and each knob runs parallel of each other. You've got a bright boost and you've got a mid boost.
Yeah, and
they don't stack into each other. They're alongside each other.
Right. And the mids you can select between boosting at 1 kilohertz or 800 hertz.
Yep.
And anyway, go check out the video that should be getting published today at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Central time. Look for that today. It's Ryan and
Andy from the Guitar Nerd,
the Guitar Geek.
the Guitar Geek. Jeez, I really am tired,
dude. I'm gonna have to carry both of these.
I know, right? It's gonna be really. I'm glad we're gonna have a guest next episode. Fingers crossed to help carry the show. But yeah, we're releasing the demo that I did with Andy. I can't talk with Andy.
Does he actually go by Andy?
He goes by Andrew or Andy. I've heard people calling him all that weekend. And when I was hanging out with him, I was calling him Andrew. So I don't know why I'm doing Andy now.
I don't know why either.
But anyways, we did a video together of that pedal. We're releasing it on Monday, the day this is out. And then I'm going to do an official demo of it later next week sometime.
All right, last but not least, this episode is brought to you by Gun Street Wiring
Bang, bang,
Shop.
pew, pew.
They do wiring kits. I don't know what to say about it. They don't do bass kits. I looked it up after talking to Kyle last week. They don't do any bass kit stock, but I have a feeling that if you hit them up and you're like, hey, man, I got a jazz bass. This is what I want. They're going to be like, bada bing, bada boom.
Well, yeah, I mean, technically, the wiring harness that they sent to me it's mostly not what they offer, but they put it together, a little bit custom for me. You talk to them, they're going to figure something out for you. That's just what it comes down to. That video that I did of that wiring harness got a lot of views. I want to say it was like at 3,000 or something like that. I wasn't expecting it to get so high so quickly, but people were interested in that SG and interested in the wiring harness. So, pretty cool stuff. I'm still really happy with it in my SG. I've been playing around with it a bunch around the house. Having fun playing around with that, with the out of phase setting. I figured out how to use that correctly. Because in the first video I did, I was completely wrong about it. I was doing like a first impressions thing, and it was pretty rough. I had to make an apology video.
What's funny with that is, well, anyway, it's not neither here nor there.
Okay,
let's carry on.
My wayward son. Hey, this is Ryan.
And this is Steve, and you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
I did a video at Thomann.
Yeah.
With the Guitar Geek. Why can't I say that? With the Guitar Geek, the aforementioned Andrew, and a company that makes audio plugins. What was their name?
Like DAW type stuff?
I forget the name of the company. They were on the sponsor list. But anyways, they make audio plugins, so we were going into like noisy areas, and they were just having me say the podcast intro over and over and over again with like crackling like candy wrappers while I was saying it, like having fans blow on the microphone and having all sorts of stuff happening.
So what I'm hearing is maybe you should take over doing the podcast.
Hey, this is Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, fixing, modding, breaking, reviewing, and playing podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Didn't even have to break a sweat, Steve.
Much smoother than mine.
And it was faster. I wouldn't say smoother. I missed a few syllables in there, but it was faster. So, anyways, what's new, Steve?
I'm going to save my what's new for next week.
Oh, shoot.
I think you got a pretty big what's new, maybe.
Yeah, well, my what's new is going to take up the whole episode.
That's
I'm just going to talk about being in Germany.
Yeah.
The whole time, both topics. So why even waste time doing a what's new segment on it, right?
Don't waste time. Drink Bud Dry. Wait, what?
That's not this. Don't ask why Drink Bud Dry is the slogan. It's not don't waste time. And that phrase, that marketing jingle haunts me because I was not of age and time to drink Bud Dry. And by the time I wanted to drink Bud Dry, by the time I remembered it, that I could try it out, it was already discontinued.
You know what I learned today?
What'd you learn today?
Zima is back.
Zima's back in a big way.
Yeah. So I feel like at some point we need to pick up.
No.
Were you old enough to have Zima?
I don't think so, but it's like I always heard that it was like a worse Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah. So I've never had it. Obviously, like I thought maybe you would be old enough, but I guess not.
I mean, Smirnoff Ice is okay. It's like drinking Squirt with vodka in it or something like that.
It's flavored malt liquor,
right? But it tastes like a citrus soda.
Yeah, there's no vodka in it though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, it's Smirnoff branded.
Yeah.
I guess if we had some Zima, I'd drink it. I'm not going to turn down some booze, some nice cold booze with a friend over a nice podcast. It sounds nice, Steve.
That's our new slogan. You're listening to 60 Cycle Hum. Two friends drinking booze, hanging out.
Ice cold drink over a hot podcast. So,
podcast sounds gross.
Who wants to listen to a hot podcast? Should we get into an ad since we're going to skip what's new?
Yeah,
let's do it.
This first ad was sent to us by Mark Murigan. This is a Earthquaker Devices Bit Commander guitar effect pedal box only.
It's in parentheses, cardboard box only. $25, $22 shipping.
Oh my gosh, I missed that. Why wouldn't you just put this in a padded envelope?
How would you ship this? How would you ship this box, Steve? How would you ship a shipping box, Steve?
Just slap a label on it and put it in the mail. Here you go.
Here's the problem. You don't ship this shipping box to Philip McKnight. You got to put it, or from Philip McKnight. You got to put it in another container, or the recipient's going to be pissed. Apparently.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I would. You got to put this in something, but
yeah, I mean, this is a $25 box. You've got to put it in another box if you're going to ship it correctly.
Is this even a rare pedal for Earthquaker? Like. For $25 plus $22.11 shipping, like,
hey, if you can sell this for $25, I have got a lot of boxes in my closet for pedals, and I am willing to clear them out. I'll sell 5 for $100.
I will say that the Earthquaker boxes are like the best looking box.
They're pretty good boxes.
Probably on the market.
They're pretty good boxes.
But,
They've got that skeleton octopus art on there.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue with the art on that box.
But here's one for $144.
Although the Chase Bliss box is like a little
oh yeah,
it's like a little treasure chest. I mean, that's a great box.
I'm just saying of like cardboard boxes because
oh yeah, and the cardboard box game, Earthquaker Devices has it cornered.
I mean, once you get into the wood boxes, you're really all you got left is Chase Bliss and the Tone Mob.
Yeah, Tone Mob's got that box that you can flip it over and it turns
into a Japanese shoe.
Yeah, is that considered a shoe or a sandal?
Footwear.
Japanese footwear. Why not?
All right, how much do you think this is actually worth?
The box is worthless without the pedal.
Yeah, and like I said, okay, so if this is
I bet that if you wrote Earthquaker Devices and like, I need a new box, I'll pay shipping, they'll just send you one. I bet you.
Probably true.
Yeah.
If you bought the original thing from them, they might even do it like without shipping.
Who knows? Yeah, you got the receipt.
Do you think shipping, if you got it shipped from them, do you think it would be more or less than $22.11?
They would flat pack it and put it in an envelope.
Oh, was that what you were trying to get me to say earlier?
No, I don't care what you were going to say. I wanted you to come up with something redundant and useless.
Oh, you like putting a box in a box?
Yeah, putting a box in a bigger box with packing peanuts.
That's
or
not
something
my
like
style. You put this box in another box, and then you put that box in a guitar box, and you put a guitar box on a freight.
Really, you need a pedal box case made for you, like a plastic molded case.
You put that guitar box on an otherwise empty freight box, like, the 20 by 8 by 8 rig.
Yeah,
and then you put that on a train.
Oh my gosh, Steve, we're involving a train into it.
And then you put the train car onto a ship, and then you put that ship onto a rocket ship.
Oh my gosh.
And you put that rocket ship on a space station.
Oh my gosh. Where are we going with this, Steve? You're taking me on a journey into space.
And you put that spaceship in a black hole.
Right. And then it comes out in another galaxy, in another time. And aliens on the other side receive the box and say, yay, I have a box that matches my bit commander. Fantastic.
When you get this, do you look at it and you start singing, it's a box in a... Oh, well, that's disappointing. It's just a box.
It's just in a box. It's just a box in a box.
It's an empty box. All right.
I really wish...
That joke did not land.
I have no idea what you're getting at. I really wish that pedal boxes were worth $25 a piece, though. Because seriously, I have a lot. I have a lot of pedal boxes that I should not keep forever. It's ridiculous. Do you keep all your pedal boxes, Steve?
I have a lot of them, and I don't know why. Like,
I feel like it helps the resale. Like, if someone else has the box and you don't have the box and your price is the same, someone's going to go with the guy who's got the box.
I feel like it helps me be more confident in my shipping if I want to sell online.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I guess I could just get a bunch of generic. Well, and I guess that's the other thing is like the post office.
If you get rid of a box and later you have to get a box.
Right. And the post office, like, small flat rate boxes are too small to fit a pedal into.
Right. Yeah, they really are. They need to get on the pedal game at the post office is all I'm saying. Like, make a flat rate box that fits a pedal perfectly. And you're going to move so many pedals, post office.
Yep.
I'm going to take my pedal straight down there to the post office and be like, I don't even need packaging. You've got all the packaging
if they had...
You know that if they came out with a pedal-sized box, then some upstart, like, new pedal company would just raid the postal service and be like, this is our box now.
If they did a free flat rate box that, say, was, like, I don't know, like $9 versus the padded envelope, which is like $7.15 right now, I think. I would pay the extra $2.
Damn, Steve.
Well, like in shipping, like I would pay the extra $2 to ship it in a box versus and just have that like nicer presentation.
Yeah.
Versus like putting it even a lot of times with the bags, I put the box in the bag. But,
oh yeah, that's what I do. I put the box in the bag with 2 bags around it to give it extra padding.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about boxes. Ryan,
Yeah.
tell us about Germany.
Well, we're going to talk about the people of Germany first.
Yeah, talk
We're gonna
about
split it into two
talk about
topics.
who you loved. Talk about who you hated.
I just got to say right off the bat, going to Thomann Gearhead University 2018, class of 2018, the new class.
Right. The first class.
The first class. And it was a first class experience. I'll say that right now. It was
That was hella cheesy.
it was super great. It was like the hardest work I've ever done in a week in a long time. Like we were working like 14-hour days.
Yeah.
Followed up by like 5 hours of walking around this beautiful German town, just drinking everything we could touch. Like any fluid in a container, you put it in our hands and we would drink it. And then what's left after 14 plus 5? That's 19 hours. That leaves 5 hours sleep. That doesn't sound like enough. That doesn't sound like that sounds like more sleep than I got, is what I'm trying to get to. I think I was sleeping like 4 hours a night. Something stupid
You
like that.
would send me text message, like you'd message me on Facebook, and it would be like 5 o'clock here, which was like 5 plus 7 plus the extra 4.
That's weird.
Maybe
math,
it wasn't
Steve.
quite. Maybe it wasn't quite that late.
I was going to
No,
bed.
you're 9 out. Germany's 9 hours ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was
So
going to
5
bed
plus
at like
7 gets
3
you to
a.m.
midnight. Plus 2 hours is like, so it's like 2 a.m. 2:30, and we'd be like messaging back and forth, and you'd be like, "Oh, this thing happened. This thing happened. This thing happened. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you make this thing?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and then you'd be like, "Okay, good night. I'm going to bed. Bye."
No, I would go to bed at like 3 a.m. every night. And then I would wake up, and it wasn't because of an alarm or anything I needed to do. I would wake up at like 7:30, something like that. And this went on for like a week. My body did not do well with the jet lag. I was a wreck. But I'll say, like, just hanging out with everyone and making so many like fast friends
Right.
with other YouTubers and being able to bond over the experience of being YouTubers was like really incredible.
That sounds so pretentious.
I know. It sounds.
Oh yeah. So basically, there are a bunch of YouTubers, and we bonded over the fact that we're YouTubers.
It's like the most millennial brag possible, but it was.
Would you describe the group of people who were there as influencers?
Let's not get into that. You think John O listens to this?
I would be surprised.
Yeah, I
if
would be
he did.
surprised too. We were definitely influencers. Like like when you get into a situation like that, there was like 29, 30 people there. You find your clique pretty quick. You figure out who you bond with,
Yeah.
who like you have energy with. Like Jalen or Jay and I were like fast friends.
Yeah, and that's something I think that we've hung out with Jay a little bit at NAMM before. And
I've been in the same room with him before. I don't think I'd ever actually hung out
Really?
and like talked with him.
Really? Yeah, I talked to him a bit at the bowling thing. Like I just kind of hung out with him for a little bit.
But him and Andrew Ferris, the guitar geek, and Patrick Hunter, and man, who else? There was a bunch of people I was just hanging out with.
Before you start name dropping everyone, I know like those 3 guys were the ones that you've mentioned, like that maybe those are the ones that we can expect to see in the most videos. That
I think you
made.
can expect to see me doing like cross content with them a bunch.
And even I know today, like you dropped like 3 videos, I think, with Jay Leonard J. So the question that I have, because it seems like again, like Jay and the Guitar Geek and Patrick Hunter, you hung out with a lot, and I know I saw those guys in like every Instagram picture you took.
Yeah.
What I want to know is who there were you most intimidated by?
It was
Not necessarily from a like.
Oh, it's an easy answer.
Not in like a bad. I don't mean that in like a negative way.
No, not at
necessarily.
all. There's no negative intimidation there. Easily, like I can say it without any doubt, I was intimidated by Philippa Q, like the 12-year-old guitar player. Like, just something about like, how do I talk to a 12-year-old? How do I interact with a 12-year-old who's better than me? like way better than me, and getting even more better than me, like by the hour. You know, like when there's like a sci-fi movie and like something happened, there's some new organism, and it's, you know, microscopic, and then they walk back in the room and it's the size of a lemon, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's grown overnight. And then they come back after lunch and it's like a full sized like human creature. And
you watched Reptilicus too, huh?
And then by dinner it's attacking the city. Like, that is where Flippa Q is.
She's gonna attack the city?
Like, the speed at which she's growing as a musician is frightening.
Right.
And there's nothing I could show her that she hasn't seen before or done before better than I've done it. Andrew called me into one of the recording rooms at one point. He's like, hey, we're jamming in here. I look in, it's him and her. He's like, this is her first jam session ever with anyone. I was like, what? And he's like, when I'm done, do you want to jam with her? It's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. She's like so good. I don't even know how I was fumbling through it, and she's just, you know what it is it's fundamentals.
Right.
She has the fundamentals where I'm just some hack just noodling with his way through everything he does.
Hack. That is true.
So yeah, I still feel intimidated by her quite a bit. I felt intimidated to talk to like Nita Strauss.
Yeah.
But then once I was introduced to her and got something going, then it was like, oh yeah, we're just like hanging out. This is no big deal, even though you're like a million times better than me. And that's not even really what it's all about.
Yeah.
Like, all those people were better than me. I don't think there's anyone there who's a worse player.
That's why I should have gone. That's the real reason you should have brought me. We should have figured it out just so like there.
Well, I think the thing I told you before we went is that if you go,
I was gonna have to work.
Then you were gonna have to work.
And I was like, I didn't want a vacation, dude. I don't want to work
as much as I was working. I think if you saw how much we were all working, you wouldn't want to be there still. Like, it was nonstop. Like, it was just hustling all day long.
Right.
But yeah, the people were great. Someone it's not that I didn't think that I could hang out with them, but it's not someone I thought like, oh, I'm going to end up hanging out with this person and having a great time. I had a lot of fun hanging out with Steve from Boston.
I'm not familiar.
He's got a YouTube channel. Go look him up. He's an older guy. I don't mean that in a mean way, but that's the reality of it. He'd say that. But it was just kind of fun. Like, we'd hang out and be like breakfast friends and like make these breakfast sandwiches at the hotel and stuff and just talk about whatever. I think you would have a lot of fun talking to him, Steve. Steve with Steve. Just came up with a new podcast.
That would have been what I would have done just every day. It would just be just make videos.
He's always talking about his Fitbit. He's always talking about the dew point. I think you would have had a great time talking to Steve.
I think I've actually maybe watched some of his stuff and not realized it.
Yeah.
He looks super familiar.
He's a fun guy. I guess he's a lawyer.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's a full-on lawyer. But he also has a gear channel. Got to hang out with Glenn Fricker. Got to hang out with Henning Pauly for small amounts of time because he was just hauling ass the whole time.
Oh, yeah?
Like, the amount of work him and the video crew did. Like, I'm complaining about working 14-hour days. These guys were working like 16-hour days.
Yeah.
Because they had to do setup and tear down every single day. And then the day we left, they went back and did more work to like tear everything down and make it all happen. It's just an incredible amount of work went on behind the scenes of this thing. Just, I still can't believe it. Like, just people pulling product out of the warehouse, running video rooms, like running and grabbing all sorts of stuff, running the schedules, running, like they had stations for transferring everyone's cards to their external drives and stuff like that. It was intense. And catering, like there's all this catering happening and stuff like that. They got, they did a whole graduation ceremony with hats and
So how's that going to work?
diplomas
Are they going to be able to do it again with the same group of people since you all graduated or what?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it next year. Hopefully they do it next year. It sounds like Toman was really impressed with the outcome.
You already sold one guitar.
Did I?
Somebody on one of your Harley Benton videos already was like, I just bought this guitar because of your video.
What? I missed that comment.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on you've been blowing up YouTube.
Well,
I like checking at the end of the day, and then like today's fun was, oh, you spelled Toman wrong and then copy pasted it. Across 6 videos.
Whoops. Thanks for your help, Steve.
At one point, I think you instead of grabbing the text. You grab the text from the instead of copy pasting the text out of the text box, you copy pasted from the video description, which truncates it. Oh, and then you were pasting that, so they're all dead links for like 3 videos.
Oh, awesome!
I'm just trying to validate my existence over here.
So good. So you do a lot of work behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know that. Like Steve holds the YouTube channel together in a lot of ways. I mean, you know, I do all the work with the actual video and the editing and everything.
I just make it like look like a intelligent person exists.
Right. You trick people. You look like there's an intelligent person behind the scenes.
Ryan says all the words and I make sure they're spelled right.
And in the right order.
I mean, that just sounds just super intense. Like,
yeah. And it just like is so much fun hanging out with the brands too. Like I became like, I'd say fast friends with Charlie from Orange Amps. And I'd talked to him once before at Winter NAMM, but we were both drunk and decided it was not a good idea to continue talking to each other. I was talking to a guy from Fender Custom Shop who was there, who's out of Arizona. A bunch of different companies. It was pretty fun.
Did you find it? Because I know it's kind of like where we've talked about going, or eventually what your garage may turn into. Was it a lot easier to walk into like a studio-ish environment and just crank? Because I know the schedule was all like you have 1 hour to like make your video.
Yeah, and then like you lose 15 minutes on the top of the hour if you're lucky to the setup,
right,
and bringing stuff in and whatnot.
And of course, you know, I know a lot of the work for you too is still ends up being on the editing side.
Yeah.
But
I mean, basically what I'm looking at now is a day of shooting equals a day of editing, and that's like marathon level stuff.
Right.
So, and apparently I had much more ambition for shooting than everyone else did.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not like a bragging thing. Like maybe I should have slowed down and put a little bit more quality into what I was doing. But I was sitting around with everyone at night over beers, and I like did some quick math. And I was like, if we all shot 30 videos on this trip, and there's this many of us, and everyone was like, whoa. What's this 30 video talk?
So did you, but you said you did 30 videos.
I think there's a good chance I did 30 videos. I've uploaded
at
like
least 10.
No, because I'm over 7 over 2 days. I think I've uploaded 16 videos.
16?
Yeah.
I would believe that. I haven't looked that closely. I know there's a bunch.
And then also I was jumping into other people's videos that I'm not going to edit at all.
Right. That's someone else's problem.
But I would go into a room that I had booked for an hour, and I would bust out 5 guitars in an hour.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more ambitious and faster, I think, and have less of a focus on quality.
Right.
Than the other people who were there. But I definitely hit the ground running. I spent the first 2 hours at Toman walking around feeling...
So you're up to 14 videos.
I'm at 14.
Wow.
Okay, I think I stopped because I heard somewhere that if you go over 6 videos per day, then YouTube doesn't promote them to your audience anymore.
Yeah, you have 14 videos. The lowest...
I think I've got like a couple in queue on my editor right now.
Oh, okay. And yeah, I think that's everything that is...
You said I have 14?
14.
Yeah, I went one over that 6 number.
And there's one up that, of course, we haven't actually released yet.
Right.
What? Okay, so what? Oh, I guess we're still talking about people. We're not moving on yet.
Yeah, we can move on if you want. Let's do another ad. We'll talk about the gear.
Let's do an ad.
I mean, otherwise it's just me talking in circles about everything. Yeah. You know.
This is a thing that's been popping up on Facebook. This was posted in the group by Kane Flores, but it was actually originally sent to me in a message by RJ Smith. And this is for FX Pedalboards. It says, we're introducing 2 new products today, the medium and small amp stand / practice stations. They hold smaller, medium-sized amps, 2 guitars, effects pedals, sheet music, and or tablets PC, and your drink.
And your drink. Yeah, it looks like it has 2 drink
cup holders.
Well, maybe one. Oh yeah. There's 2 cup holders, but one like you could probably put picks in it or something like that.
And the pedal board is removable to take to the show. So it seems like people are really excited about this thing.
Are they?
The people that I've seen, or like where I've seen it posted, it seems like people are.
I mean, I look at this. You should go look up the prices right now so that we can figure it out.
I heard the prices are very reasonable.
To me, this looks like it could be replicated with like an IKEA bookshelf and some clever like quick modifications.
Sure.
Because it's basically a shelf that holds your amp. And yeah, it's at an angle. That's nice. It holds your amp. The fact that the pedal board is connected to the base of it is incidental. Like you could push any pedal board up against the base of it. And then it's got a music stand and a little shelf to hold a few things. It just seems like...
So did you actually...
Like a regular, like cheap shelf.
Did you look at the prices?
I think I did. I don't remember them.
So the small amp stand is $285.
Yeah, you can buy
and the medium amp stand is $329.
You can buy a full bookshelf from IKEA for like $100.
I think this has a lot more going on.
It has a lot more going on, but I don't think that makes it better. I think it's kind of ugly.
I think it's highly specialized.
It looks like
I'm not a fan of the pedal board because it is just basically a thick sort of pegboard thing. Like that I get, but I feel like there's a lot more going on with this than just to say, oh, well, just get a bookcase.
If I was going to spend that much money, I'd want it to look like more like a finished piece of furniture and not like cardboard pop out like a model kit.
All right.
It has that thing like, oh, pop out all these pieces and make a dinosaur skeleton sort of kind of look to it.
Yeah, I can see that.
It looks,
I guess.
It doesn't look like a piece of furniture. I mean, it looks functional. It looks completely functional.
I think it looks super functional. I think depending on what the aesthetic is for your house, like this could really work. I think if you have a very limited amount of space, this could be functional.
Another point I saw someone make in the comments is that if you have an amp where the controls are on the top,
you're screwed.
You're screwed.
Yeah, that's
because it only works with the controls facing out forward from the amp. And it's also look at it like I've got to get into the back of the amp and do things like all the time, whether it's like plugging in the power, like if it's a Fender amp, the switches are in the back.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, like you know, doing like a speaker plug in or something like that. Like it looks good on paper, but then when you really think about the practicality of it, I just look at this and it's just too much trouble. It's more trouble than it's worth. Like I would rather have an amp with tilt back legs and a music stand, and I would be saving $300. You know, because you can get a music stand dirt cheap. Tilt back legs are like $20 or $30 or something like that. I just don't think it's really worth it. I don't need a cup holder because I finished my drink in one swig. I barely even need a cup. I don't know. This is a hard sell for me.
Oh, of course, one of the comments of always, this can be made from Home Depot for $30.
Oh, gosh. No, I'm not making that. I'm not going to make that argument at all because you got to have the time and the plans to make that happen. I mean, this would be a good project. You know, have you seen those like Kickstarter plunge routers where you put down tape and it like is a handheld CNC machine?
Yeah.
This would be a good project to have as a plan for one of those things. Like, oh, make an amp stand out of Home Depot plywood, and you put down the tape and you cut out the necessary pieces, and then it just clamps together, super easy. But I'm just not seeing the value in it as something that's bought. And you know, I could make something from a sheet of Home Depot plywood that would have the same function. I could say that. It wouldn't look as clean or as finished, but it would have the same function.
Well, I mean, I think most things no one's ever paying for. Well, not never, but you know, you're not paying for the concept.
You're paying for the labor.
You're paying for
the execution.
You're paying for the labor and the execution. So yeah, you could build this, but you also, you know, you've got a squatch board and you've got salvage board, and before all of those, I'm looking at your pedal board, and it looks like a piece of garbage.
Oh yeah, you're looking at my homemade one here in the garage. I use it as an apple crate now, which is apple crate means like a box that you use for like video propping up and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you know, yeah, you can do it, But yours looks like dump. And yours looks like dump, and it looks better than anything I've ever put together.
Mine looked like the best thing I'd ever done when I built it, and it still does. And yeah, it looks like a really bad like pirate treasure box because I put brass corners on it.
That's my big fear, actually. With like, I finally got that. I should have talked about that at the beginning.
What is it?
I finally got that Ibanez, the Roadstar 2.
Oh yeah, you stripped
it down.
Yeah.
I did that last Saturday, so I haven't had any chance to paint, and I don't think I'm going to have a chance to paint this weekend either.
When that popped up on Instagram, I was getting notifications for it. I was like, did Steve repost an image from when we stripped this halfway in the garage?
No, that's the other side of it.
I figured it out eventually.
And one of the things with that was not to get off topic, but
sure.
Whatever, we're diverging a bit. One of the things that was really interesting with that, and the way I've left it, is really my goal was to get the polyester off.
Right.
Or polyurethane.
The
hard stuff.
Yeah.
Gotta make it less hard. Stop being hard.
Yeah, you gotta get it so it's not so hard.
And so there are so once I got I used the heat gun to get that stuff off. And actually then I went at it, and I got maybe 80% of it with just the heat gun.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to get around the horns with the heat gun.
Oh yeah.
So with that, I actually intentionally
burned it
a little to get it to bubble off, so I could use my paint scraper to just kind of chip away at it.
Yeah. And
then I took some medium grit sandpaper and just kind of worked down in areas to smooth out anywhere where the paint stripper chisel thing got dug into the wood.
Uh-huh.
But I'm actually gonna leave black spots here or there.
Sure.
It's not gonna. I didn't do it 100% clean. I think it's gonna look really interesting.
Yeah, it should.
Because I'm hoping that the paint that I use isn't 100% translucent or isn't 100% opaque, I should say.
Right. You were looking for translucent.
Yeah.
Transparent as you can see through it, translucent as you can kind of see through it, opaque as you can't.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I got to look through the rest of the hardware because I think the pick guard on that is really the part that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with because I can't take a heat.
Did it come with a pick guard?
I have the pick guard. It just looks like it's been spray painted.
Oh.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
So I may. And I think it's a black pick guard too, which I'm not super excited about. But then I also don't know if I want to drop $40 on a pick guard.
Sure.
Which also sounds a little bit crazy for me complaining about dropping $40 on a pick guard. But it's dropping $40 on a pick guard for a guitar that I don't even know
if I'm
gonna like it when I get it all put back together. The only reason I'm excited about it is I looked at the neck again, and that neck looks incredible.
Do what I did with my Strat back in the day. Cut up the pick guard and move the pickups where you want them to be. Just go full Frankenstein on it.
No, I want it to look classy.
Okay. Should we move on to the next topic, which is just me gushing about Germany some more?
Yeah. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Germany stuff.
Well, we can talk about the gear that I got to have fun with.
So the one question we got in the group that I guess kind of ties in with this is you've done a few video reviews already for Harley Benton.
Yeah.
And Harley Benton is correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, they are Thomann's house, a house brand for them. And I know that they have always been compared favorably to Squire stuff. But after the Rosewood ban or the Rosewood restrictions came out, basically you couldn't get them shipped to the United States. And even then, I think even before then, you had to figure out if you really wanted to pay to ship something from Europe.
Right.
I found out. So how are they?
I found out the shipping deal with Toman. It's $35, but they pack it all together. So if you bought 4 guitars from them and an amp at the same time, it would just be $35.
Okay.
So it's you can, if you are going to buy a lot from them, you can make it worth your while to have it shipped. So I might be taking them up on that at some point soon and buying 3 Harley Bentons. And that is all you need to know as far as a review goes, that I'm going to buy 3 of them.
Yeah, wow.
I was very impressed with their Les Paul style guitar. It was under $200
Mm-hmm.
and was way better than I could have expected for $200. And the thing with them is like you look at the headstocks, and if you only looked at the headstocks, like these kind of weird shapes and kind of like, kind of has like a rondo music sort of thing going on with the headstock, you'd be like, yeah, this is a cheap guitar.
Yeah.
But then you get down, like even past the initial shape of the headstock, the tuners are great. The nut is great. I mean, it's still a cheap guitar. You're going to find like pooling of the finish in the joints and things like that.
Okay.
Just because they're going to be sprayed really cheap or whatever.
Yeah.
But like the fretwork, the necks, the playability, even the pickups sound great. The hardware on them is great. I'm really, really impressed with them. Like in the Les Paul that I played, they don't call it a Les Paul. I forget what they call it.
Sure.
Felt really, really nice. Like the weight of the wood and the resonance of the body, I was really impressed. And it had push pulls for coil splits.
Oh, cool.
On both humbuckers, so I was getting real like twangy things out of it. And it was had like great sustain. I was very impressed with that guitar. And I played their Prince style Telecaster one. Lots of character in that thing. Like a lot of times with super cheap guitars, they kind of just all take on the same character.
Right.
And it's like it doesn't matter the body shape or the hardware. It's just kind of like a thud, and it doesn't matter how good it plays. It just has a thud to it. Like those two guitars had a lot of personality to them, and I was very impressed with them. I know Emily Harris has a Harley Benton Prince style Telecaster, so maybe she can chime in on the group.
I didn't know that was hers the Harley Benton.
I'm pretty sure
I thought hers was a different one. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure
the original one I think is a Honer.
Yeah, the original one's a Honer. I also tried the Mustang style one. It was fun, but it didn't impress me as much. I was really surprised that I liked the Bass 6 variation as much as I did because I tried that one. Those are just the videos I've done so far. I've got more videos coming of Harley Benton stuff. I did a bunch of acoustic Harley Benton stuff with Jay Leonard J. I posted those all on Friday. I did a double neck, like an SG style double neck, which was stupid. Way too heavy, but I'm sure it was like a similar experience to doing the Gibson one or Epiphone one. Completely impractical, completely just nuts. Like, don't ever buy one of those guys.
Did you play Stairway on it?
I did not because I don't know how to play Stairway. But
you play Hotel California?
No, I didn't. I played their 12-string Rickenbacker sort of style thing. Geez, what else did I play? I played a bunch of stuff from them. I've got so many videos to edit, guys. It's ridiculous. Interesting guitars that I played. I played a Strandberg.
Oh, yeah.
Those like, alien facehugger shaped guitars.
Yeah.
I played one that Matt Knight had around for use with the Katana Air, which was a fun thing to play around with too. But I played their Telecaster loaded style Strandberg. Have you ever picked one of those up?
No.
Have you ever seen the necks?
I mean, I've seen pictures of them.
Have you ever seen the back of the neck?
I guess not.
They're square shaped.
Interesting.
Like, let me draw it out for you. Like here is...
Oh, you're going to draw me a picture. That's great pod, Ryan.
I'm explaining it to you, Steve. Everyone else already knows. So here's the back of a normal guitar neck shape. Like, let's call that a C shape.
Sure.
This is a Strandberg.
Oh.
It's like half a hexagon.
Interesting.
And the moment you see it, you're like, I don't know how this is going to go, guys. Like, this is going to be really weird. And throw on top of it, like, the fan frets.
So does it force your hand to be in, like, the proper playing position?
Exactly. It forces you to put your thumb where it's actually supposed to be instead of you getting all willy-nilly and wrapping it all over the place. And what I found is it decreases the surface area that your hand is touching. So you're moving around quicker and it's smoother. Where, like, you don't have to worry about your hand getting caught on a sticky neck or something like that.
Right.
You have empty space in between your hand and the neck. So I found myself getting used to it pretty much immediately.
Right.
And be like, yeah, this is very comfortable and I get it. And I got used to the fan frets very quickly. I was pretty impressed. It felt like you look at them and they look like they're spaceships.
Yeah.
But then you play around with them and you immediately bond with them in a classic guitar playing sort of way. Like, it doesn't feel like some sort of ridiculous shredder or some kind of outer space guitar. Like, it feels like a really nice guitar when you're playing it. I was really, really surprised. Other things that I played. What else did I play there?
What's would you say is maybe the piece of gear that you were surprised by or impressed by? What's the most high end piece of gear that you played?
I think the one that surprised me the most, it's not the most high end one. I'll get to that in a second. Nita Strauss's guitar really surprised me.
The Ibanez prototype.
Yeah. Jiva, I think is what it's called. But I got to talk to her a bit, and I did a co-interview with her and Andrew from the Guitar Geek. I keep saying his name all over the place because I hang out with him so much.
Yeah.
But I mentioned that I was in a surf rock band, and she's like, I want you to do a recording of it doing surf rock sounds. I was like, okay, I'll do that. But her whole thing is she wants to show off that the pickups are more than just metal pickups.
Right.
And they have switching that's like gives you a lot of options.
Who is it that she is currently the touring guitarist for?
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper. I was trying to remember the other day. I know is in the Iron Maidens.
Yeah, I don't know what the status of that band is.
And some other projects, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah. But she's with Alice Cooper right now. But yeah, like normally with Ibanez 5-way switching, you have humbucker, then on the 2 and 4 positions, it splits the humbucker and combines it with that middle pickup. With hers, it's just a split. So you have 2 humbucker settings and 3 single coil settings.
Oh, interesting.
And they sound great. Like I was showing off in the video when I get it edited, like doing like jazzy sounds with it.
Right.
And I did it hit a surf sound really easily. Like I did this little surf jam with it that was a lot of fun. So I was surprised by that, how like not metal shreddy her guitar was. Mm-hmm. Like it felt very classy and very easy to pick up and not, get pulled into just ridiculous deedly-deedlies. And then I played some sort of custom PRS up in the custom shop room that did not have a price tag on it.
Ooh.
And felt like it was very, very expensive. And I did it in the same session as using a Harley Benton that was a PRS shape, which I have no idea how they get away with. Like it had the little cut on the lower horn and everything.
Oh. Well, I don't know if PRS has. I think with guitars, basically the only thing anyone can actually copyright is the headstock.
That might be true. I don't know, but I played them in the same session and compared them, which apparently is what everyone was doing with that guitar.
Oh yeah,
with the PRS style Harley Benton. But the thing I really got out of that experience, like they both played fine. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Harley Benton, like there was no big issues with the frets or the finish or the playability or the straightness of the neck or anything. Like I could play the same songs on either of those guitars. The pickups sound a little different on each. I think they're a little bit muddier in the Harley Benton, but you could always swap pickups, whatever. Yeah. There was a very like tangible difference in pleasure while I was playing the PRS. And it's hard to like measure that or quantify that. But
that's that 10%.
It was like the pleasure factor here is off the charts compared to the Harley Benton.
That's that 10%. That's what we were talking about. Was it? I think it was earlier this episode. Maybe it was on the pre-ep. I don't remember.
Maybe.
But just, people go like, oh, like, why would you get an American Fender when like Squire, vintage, whatever, gets you 90% of the way there? And it's like, that's that 10%.
Yeah.
That's like when we had that PRS, the Starla here, like, there was definitely like something about that guitar, the way it was set up, the way it played overall, where I was like, I could just like fall asleep and just keep playing this in my sleep all night.
Like even like touching the tuning keys on the PRS was a pleasurable experience. Like it was some sort of high grade like tuner with like a completely different metal for the tuning keys. Like it just felt good. And I think I had that experience a lot at Thomann, picking up expensive stuff versus picking up cheap stuff. Cheap stuff is so fantastic now these days. Everything's completely playable. Right. But the difference really is in that last little bit that makes it extra special in that extra special way that you can't really define. And I'm sure someone could go and measure the pickups and be like, well, these pickups are muddier.
Yeah, or this might be different than that, and there could be some,
some variance,
psychosomatic and
variance and sustain. And
right.
you can definitely say that one finish was more expensive to produce than another finish and things like that.
Well, and it's kind of that thing that like,
but it's like the perceived value of one musical instrument versus another. Like it just really came down to pleasure.
Right. And I guess that's that thing where, I've always said, and I don't remember where I heard it from. If you can't tell the difference, then don't pay for the difference. But a lot of times when people are trying to describe,
I'm never gonna buy something as expensive as a PRS probably was.
Right. But the thing is you could at least appreciate the difference, even if you couldn't.
Sure. And I'm never gonna buy.
You couldn't like nail it down to like a single tangible.
Right.
Cause.
I couldn't tell you where the pleasure was coming from, but it was just dripping out of that thing. I also got to play the PRS John Mayer, the Silver Sky.
Yeah, I saw that.
You did see that?
I saw a picture, I think. No, you did it in one of the videos that.
Oh, it's in the Walrus video.
Yeah.
Yeah. That thing is fun. And I think I still stand by my original critique that it's not all that expensive for what you get.
Right.
Like the custom hardware on it feels really nice and looks really nice.
Did you get to see the soft case?
I didn't see the soft case, but it plays like a $2,000 something guitar, and I thought it was great. I mean, I'm never going to buy one for myself, but I don't fault anyone for wanting one or liking one.
Right.
Like, you don't have to like John Mayer to like that guitar. Like,
no, only John Mayer fans can get.
It's like guitar. A good Strat.
Yeah.
And you could, buy a good Strat from Fender too. You could buy a good Strat from all sorts of people, but it's a good Strat option. And I've always kind of liked Strats that have a 3x3 headstock, even though that's kind of, heretical or whatever, sacrilegious. I don't know, but yeah, I liked it. I can't think of any other gear at the moment. I tried a bunch of amps. I didn't really play too many pedals when I was there. I got to mess around with an original Boss Space Echo that Matt Knight brought. Oh man, I messed around with a lot of orange amps, which I've never done before. Is spend time with orange amps, and I was really liking those. It was a really good time. It was a big learning experience for me as far as gear goes too. Like I was trying out a lot of stuff that I usually wouldn't try. There's a bunch of Eastwood guitars there that I got to try. Fun stuff.
I saw you did one with the side jack on a quilter.
Yeah. Last ad, let's get out of here.
Well, we got to thank our sponsors again.
Of course.
We got a Gun Street Wiring Shop.
Go check them out. Figure out some sort of new wiring for some guitar. If you got a guitar and you don't like it, maybe the wiring's the problem. That's what happened to me with my SG.
Big thanks to Walrus Audio and this Emissary.
Go check out the Emissary. I've got at least one demo up now. I'm going to have another one up soon. It's a parallel boost. Got a bright boost, got a mid boost. It's really fun for pushing amps into distortion or into more distortion. They might already be in distortion. It's also fun for kind of like EQ shaping for a volume boost that's got a little bit of extra sparkle to it, Not just a dumb, thuddy, across the board EQ volume boost. Like this thing will give you a boost that gives you some character, which is a bunch of fun. And also big thanks to Sinusoid Cables.
Sinusoid.
They make cables and smiles.
They make you think there's a snake behind you.
There is a snake behind you in orientation to snakes on the rest of the globe. There's definitely more than a few snakes behind you.
All right.
The distance is the real question. Snakes are behind you, Sinusoid. All right, last ad.
This last ad was sent by Jay Cross of the Guitar Nerds podcast, I suppose.
Is that a podcast? Guitar Nerds?
Guitar
Nerds?
All right, anyway,
I feel like I've heard of them, but it's like I'm not familiar with
This is a Nickelback signed autographed Nintendo GameCube Jet Black console only. Tested. $127.99 plus $19.95.
You think they
shipping.
tested the GameCube or they tested the signatures?
Porque no los dos.
Right answer.
Oh my gosh, some of these comments are great.
Read them to me.
Never really liked the GameCube. Sold it. This is the most double aughts thing
You
I've
have
ever
to sing
seen.
that, Steve. That first comment you're supposed to sing in.
How is it? Do you know what tune that's supposed to be?
Yeah, it's to a Nickelback song.
Which one?
I don't know. But I know the song, like I can hear the melody in my head.
I don't know which melody that is.
Who cares? I'm not going to even try right now.
Yeah,
People at home are
guess I don't know it.
screaming the melody. They're singing the song so loudly right now. All right, read the other comments.
Oh, I think it's supposed to be. I don't know. Is it never really like the GameCube sold it?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm glad I could
That's
get you to
weird.
do it instead
All
of
right.
me doing it.
Someone opened a time capsule from 2003.
That's my comment.
These are my favorite ones. These last three. I need to get my Dreamcast signed by Three Doors Down. I want to get my PS2 signed by Puddle of Mud. And my definite favorite of them all, I got my Atari signed by the Captain and Tennille.
That's pretty good. I didn't see that one.
Yeah. So I got nothing for this. I would not buy this.
No way. $127. What's the going price for a GameCube these days?
I don't care. It's got to be less than this.
First, you got to track down a CRT TV.
With GameCube, do you need to? I guess so.
Yeah, I don't think flat screens were a thing yet.
You can still run these on flat screens. They just look a little wonky.
Yeah. You can play first Halo all day.
Because
what was on the GameCube?
I don't know.
No, that was Xbox.
Yeah.
Nintendo is GameCube. So you can play Super Smash Brothers till the cows come home.
Yeah. I played some
Mario Kart for days.
Played a Star Wars game on there. Here's a Nintendo GameCube with box on Craigslist for no price. It's free.
It's free.
That's how it works, right?
Can you imagine?
Here's Nintendo GameCube with controller for $20. GameCube system with no games, but controller and all the hookups for $30.
You know, if Nickelback ever falls on hard times, they can buy up all these GameCubes and sign them and flip them.
There's another one with hookups for $50. You could definitely here's one with $50 and 2 games for $50. There's definitely a lot of options on the local Craigslist that none of which.
So, do you think a signed GameCube is worth more or less if it's signed by Nickelback?
I don't think it's necessarily worth less. I just don't think it's worth more. It's stupid.
Whose signature would you have to get on a GameCube to make it worth more?
The guy who founded Nintendo.
You know what? That would actually be pretty
That's
sweet.
probably it.
If I would pay extra for an original NES system with that dude's signature.
I forget his name, which sucks. I should know. Everyone's probably yelling at their screens.
Teriyaki Hans Horo.
I'm pretty sure that's racist.
Right into the Tone Mob at gmail.com. Let us know if that's racist.
Right into, yo, is this racist? Ask them if the white guy that hosts a guitar podcast giving a Japanese person the first name Teriyaki is racist. Tell them it was 60 Cycle Hum. We need another name drop.
Oh, I feel awful now. Can we give me a pass due to the fact that I'm horrendously jet lagged right now?
Shigeru Miyamoto. That's the guy.
I wasn't too far.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
I wasn't too far off.
He was actually the video game designer for franchises like Mario and The Legend of Zelda. Yeah. So I don't know if he was actually.
No, despite my teriyaki thing, I have major respect for that guy.
I don't know if he was
he
ever
made some very lovable games.
Actually, the president, but he's the main.
He's the dude.
He's the dude.
He's the Walt Disney.
He's the Walt. Exactly. He's the Walt Disney of Nintendo.
Say, I am surprised there is not a Nintendo Land. It would be the best theme park. Every time you go looking for the princess in one of the castles, they're like, "Sorry, not this one." You can never find her. It'd be such a fun time.
I'm thinking about that idea.
Trying to find the princess at Nintendo Land, you're never gonna find her.
Oh my gosh.
No one's gonna have pictures with the princess. And then you're gonna have to slide down a big flagpole. No, but Nintendo could have some great rides. Mario Kart ride.
Yeah, that would be their car ride.
F-Zero. Frickin' roller coaster.
They could do a lot of different roller coaster things.
Freaking Star Fox roller coaster.
Yeah.
Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
Do a freaking barrel roll. Come on, there's some great material there in Nintendo Land. Like there could be some sort of like forest maze for Zelda.
Yeah.
You just get lost in a maze and have to talk to a bunch of people and it's super awkward. Always buying things. That's a gift shop. Every gift shop is Zelda theme.
You got to trade in your whatever the currency. I guess if you were in Japan, if it was in Japan, it'd be yen.
Yeah.
But in order to shop at any of the Zelda themed shops, you have to exchange your yen for rupees.
It's a good idea, Nintendo.
Just think about it.
But build a theme park is all I'm saying. All
right. Well, thanks for listening. I guess this song is from Kevin Fowler. He says this song is called Unbound. Kevin Fowler on guitars and Jeff Whitmore on drums. And again, it's called Unbound. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week to hear Ryan and become more tired and find out, will he fall asleep on the show or just sound like he's totally drunk even though he hasn't actually had anything to drink?
I might start hallucinating, guys. I'm pretty sure I was hallucinating at Toman a few days ago. All right, enjoy the song.
Okay, bye.